Hello, hola, bonjour. Tune in every Tuesday to the Dear God podcast.
¿Y qué pasó?
Nah, we talking like it's 1995. Let go of that Wi-Fi. Let's laugh and cry, but never say goodbye. Que lo que, and welcome, bienvenidos to the Dear God, Are We There Yet? The podcast con tu prima favorita. Soy Alicia Sanchez, and yes, this podcast is bilingual. Ahora, Dear God, in this context for my movement is whatever or whomever you want it to be. It can be the universe, religious God, Buddha, self, nature, lo que sea para ti. Dear God, Are We There Yet? Is a lifestyle community of question seekers. The goal is simple: to empower thought-provoking conversation, share happiness, and encourage each of us to never stop asking questions and having conversations that matter. The power of helping people help people with one conversation at a time. Why? Because we need it. Our friends and families need it, and the world needs it. Ya tú sabes. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel where I talk about self-growth, budgets, and business, and the passion to empower. Ahora vamos a hablar like it's 1995. I want to thank everybody to listening to the podcast and all our new listeners. Hola, ¿y cómo tú estás? I want to say thank you for tuning in. But I want to talk about this episode. It's going to be a pretty quick. It's really to just kind of, I would say, I have the words in my mouth, I'm thinking. Plant some seeds into your mind about this question that who are we? Who am I? Who are we as humans? As from so many different levels. And try to take away the feeling or the answer per se of, okay, well, we are this because of this, we are this because it says it in the Bible, or because of God, or because of my religious background, or because I learned this behavior from my mom or my dad, or whatever the case is. Like, let's remove all these labels and let's dig deep in who we are from the science point of view. Where did we come from? So I want to challenge you guys. One of my favorite books is Many Lives, Many Masters. Look it up. It's actually a really, really good book. And it actually wowed me because for so long I always thought of like I was in different, when I see someone, I smell something, or I have a conversation, it just takes me back. I have a connection. And I always think about that I've had many lives before. And a lot of people don't believe in this, they don't believe in, and it's totally fine. But for me, I really thought that I've lived in another lifetime. I felt like I've lived in many lifetimes, and I was multiple types of people. And it's funny because when I connect and I hear something, or I'm speaking to someone, I automatically like, okay, this is so ironic. People are like, oh, well, it's just, deja vu. Really? Deja vu? Really? I mean, can we really prove deja vu from a science level as well? Have you ever thought that you were from like another lifetime? Like another culture, another everything. For me, one of my past lifetimes, I would say, I feel that I was a slave, and I picture myself with this long skirt. I'm in a field, and I'm working, and I am so tired, but I have a lot of different talents. Like, I sew clothes. It's crazy. You're probably laughing at me, but literally I can see myself like I sew clothes, and I have this sense of like curiosity within me, where I really hate my master. I really hate him, but at the same time I'm very fascinated by him and his power and his control. Isn't this insane? And I'm telling you this because this is one of my past lives where I absolutely despise this man and I hate him to the core. But at the same time, I'm fascinated by the power he has. And it starts to pique my interest of, to seek out and befriend my master in a way that no slave could ever befriend. And I'm telling you this because these are vividly what I remember of one of my past lives. So I befriend this master of mine, and I befriend him in a way where it's to pique his curiosity and seduction. And in a sense that I can say, all right, I want to learn what he has. So I become very manipulative and I want to learn. And now I get access to different parts of the home and I begin to read and it starts to open my mind about things. And secretly I go back to, my family and the other people that are working and to create a way, and a way to escape. And at this point I'm living two lives. If you ask me, I'm living the life that I absolutely despise him and hate him. And I'm trying to, find a way to do this escape. But at the same time, like I fall in love with my master. It's freaking crazy and wild. And you're probably listening to this and you're just like, girl, you are crazy. Because in my right mind, why would I want to even be with someone who's controlling and horrible with me, right? So, but I want his power, to use his power against himself. So this is one of my past lives. And I don't know how clearly it ends because I only know pieces of it, but I know that I gravitate to certain things where I use that power that I have of being able to have access in the house and to read about things and finding certain things laying around and how I can manipulate and learn how to write, to kind of skew, a signature or whatever the case, like really conniving stuff. And my master takes on to me. He really likes me after a while. And but my whole point of that past lifetime was to use his power against it, like use the power he has. And what I'm so fascinated about his power is to use it against him so that we could be free or we can have our way. And to, empower the people to not bully me because I'm living this double, down low life of like being with the master and being his like favorite and then still at the same time like, slaving away. Sounds really crazy, but who am I? If I think about this as one of my past lives of I was a slave, who am I? I can also reflect myself in another instance of a very older woman, an older white woman who's very, very old and like, probably 80s and super ill. But at the same time, such a zest of energy. And, and I look at that and I'm like, am I full of shit? Like, is this real? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm so imaginative that I make up these things in my mind. Maybe when I'm speaking to my, my wife and we're talking, I'm like, you were my master back in the day in our past lives, But have you guys ever thought about that? Like, who are we, and where do we really come from besides all these theories and, biblical influences that have derived our, opinion based on, opinion versus fact, or again versus science, because a lot of people do not believe in God. They don't believe in any higher power or anything. And they believe only in science, and they believe that the egg and the sperm made a person, and that's it. And how did we even have an egg and a sperm to come? I mean, these are just so many questions that I ask myself. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because these questions now access something different for how our lives are, how we're living our lives right now, and the way that we can tap into different emotions or people or things or situations. So who are we? Who am I? Who are you? Do you ever feel like you have a past life? And these are just two of my past lives. I've had a lot, I feel, and I feel like I'm done after this, but I could be completely wrong. And I'm like, again, I don't know if it's such thing. I don't think anybody really knows. Your truth is you, whatever you feel. I don't think anybody can tell us. Can you still believe in the devil and still believe in God? Absolutely you can, because believing in meaning could be that that it's out there. It doesn't mean that you're going to like chant to them, but knowing that there's good and knowing there's evil is knowing that you're not just being one-sided. So I wanted to make this quick podcast because these are just questions that I have in my mind, and I would love to hear from you guys. Who are we? Who am I? Am I the only one who thinks that we've had a past lives? Check out that book, Many Lives, Many Masters. It's pretty fascinating because it's a psychologist, or I'm not going to give it away, but I think it's a psychotherapist or psychologist. But anyways, I'm not giving the book away as far as what it is, but it's a really good book, and it does make you think about situations and things and people that you come across in your lives, or even the people in your life now, and you're just like, I feel like I've seen you, I've done this before, like, or I feel like it's much more grandeur than, deja vu per se. Well, that's enough of my schmacking and macking off of who am I? Dear God, who am I? I hope you guys enjoyed this really short podcast. Next week, we're going to have we might have a guest on the show next week. I don't know. I might surprise you, but I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. We are working hard, and when I say we, me, myself, and I, trying to work very hard on providing you really good content, and there's going to be a lot more conversation going on. But I did want to leave this one thing to you, is that never stop asking questions. It's the whole point of the Dear God, Are We There Yet? Is to have an open-ended question where it's an open-ended, approach to never stop asking questions and having conversations about anything and everything that matter to you or what people are talking in the world. Check out our website where I talk about, you'll see on there on the website where I have, join the conversation, which is a lot of things that I've written about, but also nonprofits that you guys can support and help in there. And I will actually be rotating those nonprofits as well, because I want to shine light to not the big conglomerate nonprofits. We're talking about the little nonprofits that are making a direct impact to a community, again, through conversation and through questions. And yeah, hopefully you'll be seeing the Dear God Foundation coming up soon, one day. And that's what we've been working on. So until next time, gracias primas y primos. Hasta la próxima. Have a good day.